Welcome back, friends of the homestead. So I've been asked by one of my subscribers if I could do a real head-to-head test of a top quality or a premium quality electric chainsaw versus its equivalent in a professional grade gas powered chainsaw. And we're going to do that today. Let's take a look at the two saws that we're going to be testing, and then we'll find out who can cut the most on a tank of gas or a charge of battery and how fast. First off, I've got to confess that I have been a little bit biased about not really accepting the electric chainsaws, primarily because they're not, they're not professional grade, and they're there's a lot of plastic on them, and I thought it was kind of a little bit of a, more of a homeowner silly idea. But the reality is, after owning this for a year or so, I have put more time on the electric saw than I have on any of my Stihl or Husqvarna chainsaws, and primarily just because of the convenience to be able to grab one thing and no gas and no fuel, and not having to stop and to start it. And you can grab a couple extra batteries. I just love it. My wife loves it. My son grabs it. It has just really become a workhorse. We'll talk about how well it's held up in another video. But this particular one we'll be looking at today, when I bought this at the time, this was the biggest, baddest one that I could find. And this is DeWalt's XR, I don't know the model number, but it has a 16-inch bar. One thing that's really impressive about this is look at this battery. I mean, this thing is massive. That's 7.5 amp hours. This is a huge, huge battery. I know my dad's got a Makita that runs 2 of the 18-volt batteries, and he's been just thrilled with it. As I said, 16-inch bar. So what I did before this test is I went down and I had the local saw shop make up 2 identical full skip chains, round file chains that are brand new, have never been used. So I just put this on the 16-inch bar. As well as on the gas-powered side. Now this, of course, is my Stihl 261. This is a full professional grade small saw. Don't let the size fool you. It is regularly used in the logging industry, has a great reputation. It's been superseded by the 261, I think, but essentially the same saw. Just an awesome saw. Again, a 16-inch bar. It's got a little bit bigger chain than the other one, but again, full skip and that same size. So these, as far as what I own, this is the closest I can get in the comparison. So let's fuel them up, put the bar oil in them, and we're going to find out which one will cut the most on a charge or a tank. Now the electric saw, just like its gas counterpart, is going to require bar oil. I guess in a perfect world, we would have a saw that took no fluids at all, but that's the way it is. So same type of thing. We have a reservoir right there. It doesn't require very much. I rarely fill it up. It's pretty miserly when it comes to the oil, but it does require it. And of course the gas saw is going to require both. So I'm going to fill this up. Oh, good grief. What have I done? What a noob. The gallons of bar oil and gas that I have spilled all over the world make Greenpeace blush. Okay, so we're going to fill it up to the top just to, now I'm all sticky. Just to confirm here to you guys that we have a full tank. Now some people's going to cry foul that I'm using the Soder fuel system, and there's a little headspace in the tank and it's not at full capacity. I'm only doing what Stihl is requiring. They say leave a little bit of space right there. So our fuel line's right there. So that is, I think that's well acceptable. That's about what I fill it up anyway. Indeed, the DeWalt has a full charge. I just pulled it off the charger before I put it on here. Here's what we're going to do. We got a dry old fir log right here. It's got a little bit of a taper in it, so if we were to cut one side with one saw, it wouldn't be fair, because we're going to be counting slabs. I'm going to try to cut, it doesn't matter how thick of pieces that we cut, we want to know how many cuts up and down. I'm going to cut this until the battery runs down. This being wider than this. So let's do this. We'll take our tape, and if we measure across here, and we'll just split it, so it's 50-50 right to the point there. So we've got 4.5 feet. So if we go 2'3", that's the halfway point right here. I'll just take my hatchet and right there I know that I've got to stop cutting so that each is equal. It'll make sense here in a minute. This side over here we got, what do we got? We got the same thing, 4'6", so 2.5 feet right there, or 2'3". Here, that's hard. It's really dry and hard, so that's going to put a lot of load on that saw. So Let's start it up. I told you guys I was going to keep track of this on what the time is involved with how long it takes to cut all these. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to count them. We'll stack them up and we'll see how much further you can get, and then we can discuss what the experience was afterwards. So let's get going. Yep, that's it, guys. That's pretty impressive, though. We got a pile of carnage down here. Let's take let me stack them all up and let's see how many cuts we got. The best I can tell, I think I got all the pieces. We got 25 cuts. Some of these kind of fractured into pieces, but I think I'm pretty close. It looks like maybe someone can go back and watch in the comments, but I'm guessing I'm gonna call it 25. Now we didn't get as far as I thought we would. Let's fire up the gas saw and we'll just continue on and see what that will do in a tank of gas. I should be able to get the time as well. When I do this edit on the video, I'll look at the stop and start time and the timestamps of the clip, and I'll put in annotations what the time was to make these 25 cuts, and then we could compare it and kind of find out. But it cuts very, very powerfully, no question about it. That's surprising. If I didn't lose count, I think I got it right. I counted 82 on one tank. That's surprising. Well, that's a bummer. This is a little precarious. I'm going to hold this lest it fall over again. So that's pretty impressive, isn't it? That's over 3 times the amount. You know, you have this perception in your mind that something is a particular way until you actually get out, you know, and figure it out or find the real data. The reality is that the electric saw may not be quicker. By the time you would have to bring three total batteries, 3 extra batteries with you. When you get to that point now, that starts to negate. Oh, shoot! We'll just have to forego that photo op right there. Well, when you get to that point, now it starts to become a little bit more complicated, your decision, because one of the attractions of these, the convenience, also is the cost. You know, at half the price of a pro-grade saw. Now, if you're talking about like a good prosumer saw, you know, then you're kind of equal price. But to get the same amount of work out of it, if you were to say to throw it in the truck and you're going to go up and cut a cord of firewood, you're going to have to bring 3 batteries, and that's still not going to cut as much as 1 tank of gas will on the gas saw. Now that gets expensive. What do these big monster batteries cost you? You know, I mean, they're well over $100. So now you're looking at basically the same price for this particular saw over this one. And for what? Well, a little bit of convenience, but you've also got a disposable tool. I mean, that's the reality of it. Where these saws, go look in your granddad's in his shop, there's guys that are still running steel chainsaws, handing them down father to son, you know, to grandson. That's just no joke. So that kind of really makes me rethink the whole thing. The other thing that is something that's not so obvious when you're looking at them is just what's the experience of cutting with it. And I haven't actually, you know, ran them back to back like that, so I didn't really understand what a difference there is between the two. This is not a nice saw to cut with. There's a ton of vibration in it. It's really grabby and really jerky. It's just not a nice experience. It's all over in your hands. It just doesn't feel smooth. It definitely doesn't feel refined at all. And that's what you get at where the still, I mean, it's just butter smooth. Even though you've got a 2-stroke engine in there and all that vibration, it's handled so well. It's super smooth, it's enjoyable to use, it's way less radical, way less vibration, just a whole way nicer experience, even with the extra noise. Which, you know, this thing makes enough noise, just the chain going through the wood, that I find it uncomfortable uncomfortably loud. I wear ear protection, so there's not even really that advantage. So that kind of really makes me rethink it. I was thinking that this was a better choice for me to grab and go down and cut stuff, but it's not. If you were to fill this up just one time and didn't even take any extra bar gas or oil, you would be exceeding what you're getting with 3 batteries. And these are big batteries, right? These aren't even the little ones. So that is a little bit surprising to me, and definitely caused me to rethink it. Just when I add up the disposable nature of it, when I add up the nasty way it feels when you're using it, and how weak how the battery life just doesn't hold up that long, it's kind of a no-brainer. This still is far, far superior to the electric, in my opinion, hands down, in this particular type of wood. So that was kind of interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this. We got some more chainsaw stuff coming up. Of course, fall is here, and we're still getting ready to press those apples. We were going to do it today, and Jack woke up with a sore throat, so that's off the table. But they're still really good. They're just getting even sweeter on the vine, so we haven't picked them yet. So we'll be doing that, and lots to talk about. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. May God bless you and your families. Keep us in your prayers as well, and we'll see you guys on the next video.